Hey guys, it's Tess, and today I'm going to be filming a video talking about books I would like to see adapted into film. Whether it be TV shows or movies, we know that there are tons of books right now that are being transformed and placed on the silver screen. For example, Shadow and Bone just came out this year, which I still haven't watched. And also, ACOTAR is in the works for a TV adaptation with the same people who created the Outlander TV show. I have heard such great things about some of the things that have been created. For example, I've heard The Lovely Bones is a very good example of a book turned to TV. The Fault in Our Stars, mainly all the John Green ones, sometimes not. I haven't actually read anything by John Green other than Will Grayson, but I do love all the movies that his books have come out of. I've heard books like Everything are really good, and The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. There's just so many great examples of books being transformed into movies and TV shows that I want to give my take on what I would think I would want my favorite books to be on TV. And also there's some books that you just read and you're like, even if people don't like to read, this is an amazing story, and people who like to watch movies and TV should know the story of this. So the first book I'm going to be talking about today is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is actually in the works to be a film as far as I know. I'm not sure who by or when it is going to be released. It's kind of like the same thing with The Selection, where it's just taken a very long time for anybody to find any information about it, but hopefully we'll have a Selection film in the next year or so. If I were to create The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I would want it to be a film much like The Great Gatsby film with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire, because I just really liked the way that Nick Carraway was not only the narrator of the book, but also the narrator of the movie. And it kind of goes through Nick as he's writing this novel about Gatsby. It's kind of like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo in the sense that Monique is writing a book about Evelyn Hugo. And so I would really like her backstory to be a part of this just as much as Evelyn is a part of it. And I think by making her the main character and making Monique the narrator and having little pieces of her life and flashbacks between her and her husband come into The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I think it will have very many elements that a lot of people will like, and I think it would add a lot of character to the story. I just imagine someone like Anna Taylor-Joy. I always forget how to say her name. She's in The Queen's Gambit playing her, but the problem with Evelyn Hugo that's a little bit problematic is Evelyn is actually a Latina woman who moves to Hollywood and dyes her hair, and she's a white passing Latina actor, so they would also have to find another white passing Latina actor to make it diverse and also correct, because it would feel really off for me if they casted a white actor to play Evelyn Hugo. The next book that I would like to see turned into film is the Crave series, the whole series, but I personally think that Crave would be best as a TV show. When it comes to TV shows about supernatural teenagers like Teen Wolf, The Vampire Diaries, movies like Twilight and Vampire Academy, those things go crazy. And I know that it seemed like it was just a big trend when our millennial older siblings were around and watching that stuff, but me as an 18-year-old who just recently turned 18 love things like that, especially The Vampire Diaries. It's one of my favorite shows, and I think the Crave series has an element that a lot of those shows are missing, which is just honestly taste. I love The Vampire Diaries so much, but it's just the conflict and the characters in the story were something that I hated. Elena, the main character, is someone I don't love. I want to read the book. I own the first Vampire Diaries book to kind of get a feel of if she's different in the books, but the main character Grace in this story and her best friend Macy, I love this story so much and the characters within it. This is a message from editing Tess after thinking about even more reasons for why the Crave series should be a TV show. And I just wanted to add that it does have a very diverse cast of characters. It is written by a white author, but there are Black main characters and also LGBT main characters and main relationships in all three books. It does get more diverse and more in depth in the second two books, but it does have a little bit in the first book, and so it's not just a whitewashed cast of characters like in the Vampire Diaries. There's only a couple people of color. And in Twilight, there's literally none. So I just want to add that it is like a very diverse cast, which I feel like Twilight and the Vampire Diaries doesn't have, but shows like Teen Wolf do have. So if that's an element that's important to you, Crave does have that element. If I were going to create Crave into a TV series, I think I would definitely do it as every book is a different season. So it's kind of like how they're adapting the Percy Jackson books into a TV show, and every book is a different season. Because out of the 3 books that are released right now, there is a different conflict in every book, and so it would make a really good show, especially because there's so many parts of the Crave series in each book where it like kind of stops and you're like, okay, one little conflict is resolved, or like this big event happened in this episode and now I want to watch the next episode kind of thing. I think it would make a really great series, and I would definitely watch it because I love the Crave series so much, and I think there are so many people who would love the Jackson, Hudson, Grace love triangle, especially if they loved Twilight or the Vampire Diaries. And it also has elements that Teen Wolf has, like them ganging up together to fight this bigger thing, which I really enjoyed about Teen Wolf, and I think a lot of people would really enjoy about Crave. I know that the rights are currently sold to Universal, but the article that I read was like super old. Not super old, like right when the book came out, and Crush wasn't even out yet when that article was written. And if you Google like Crave film adaptation, there is absolutely nothing that shows up. So Tracy Wolf, if you're looking for some help from someone who reads your books, hit me up. I will help you get this started. The next series I think would be great as a film adaptation is the Love and Gelato series, which includes Love and Gelato, Love and Luck, and Love and Olives. I think this would be an amazing film franchise that so many people would watch. Like, obviously me specifically, I would watch it because I love this series, but it's just kind of like amazingly cheesy teen rom-com movie with another aspect of the plot being like family bonding and like repairing these broken relationships in every single book. And so I think Netflix could go so far if they took this book and made it a 3-movie series. When it comes to each book, they all have different aesthetics and different vibes. So let me explain to you them, and you tell me in the comments if you would watch movies like this. So the first book, Love and Gelato, takes place when a girl named Lena moves to Italy to get closer with her dad after her mom dies, and she spends like a little bit of time there. Gives me very much Lizzie McGuire vibes, just based on like the people that are in this story and the fact that she's like a teen girl in Italy, like just very much Lizzie McGuire. And there's just like so many fun aspects of this book, like the fact that they like go on a train to Rome to meet someone. There's like a lot of like really interesting parts, like the fact that she follows her mother's journal all through Florence, Italy, because that's where her mom met her dad, and she just kind of wants to be closer to her mom now that she's gone. And so I really think I would definitely watch that as a movie, so let me know about that one. The next one is Love and Luck, which follows Addie as she repairs her relationship with her brother after a breakup, and they're in Ireland for her aunt's wedding, and she is supposed to be visiting Italy with Lena, who would be a character that returns from the first movie to the second, but her brother sneakily plans a different trip and plans to stay in Ireland, and she is staying there because she wants to figure out why he hates her so much and what is so wrong with their relationship. This book would be such a funny movie. Like, I think even adults would love this because of the family aspect of it. Her name is Addie, and she has like 4 brothers, and they're all older than her. She just like has a lot of things going on in her life, and so I think that this would be like a really enjoyable movie. And it's a really short book, so the movie probably wouldn't be that long, but it would be definitely a really good sequel. I think Love and Luck gives me very much 80s vibes. They go to a concert in Ireland. He's obsessed with this band. He has this blog. If you've ever looked at my Spotify and you looked at the Love and Luck playlist, it's all 80s music because it's just the kind of vibe that Ian, her brother in the story, gives me, and his music taste is what made me make my playlist, because this book is like all about music, because he's like a music blogger and he loves to write and he loves music. So definitely think this would also make a really good movie. And then the last movie in the trilogy would be Love and Olives, which is a movie that you could watch without watching the first 2 movies, because this book is kind of a standalone. more like a sister novel to the other two, where the other two are kind of like a duology. It's kind of a weird situation, but I definitely recommend reading all of them. Love and Olives follows a girl named Liv. I talked about it in my last video if you want a more depth description, but she's moving back to Greece for a couple weeks to get to know her dad again after he abandoned her for Atlantis. And I think the whole aspect of them trying to find Atlantis and being a part of that world would definitely give me Journey to the Center of the Earth vibes, where like in the first Journey to the Center of the Earth, that is a mouthful, Josh Hutcherson and Brendan Fraser are trying to like find Josh's dad's like life there, like because he is like an archaeologist, and he goes to the center of the earth and they like find that novel. It's kind of like this, but kind of not, like a girlier version of that, and it involves Atlantis, and there's a cute little romance story, and there's just like a lot of going on. This one's probably for like a higher age level, I feel like, because it's kind of like talking about college, and Liv in the story is older than Addie and Lena. I just loved this book so much, and I would love to see it in a movie, and I think a lot of people would also enjoy seeing it as a film. Definitely would like to see this one the most out of any of them, so if they're going to make any Love and Gelato movies, please make Love and Olives. The last book I want to talk about is one I also read last month. These are just like all kind of at the top of my mind, but August was a really good reading month for me, so I got some of my favorites from it. It is The Birthday List by Devney Perry. Devney is an indie author, so if this ever got made into a movie, I'd be like, ah, like so excited. But The Birthday List follows Poppy and Cole after Poppy's husband is killed in a robbery. Cole is the police officer who tells Poppy that her husband died, and Poppy is like following this list that her husband wrote of things he wanted to do before his birthday. So kind of like a bucket list, and it's like set for each birthday, like specific things he wants to do. And to get closure, Poppy's trying to do this list. She runs into Cole when she's doing one of the things on the list, which is to join a karate class, and Cole's actually the teacher of the karate class. And obviously they slowly start to fall in love, and it's a second chance romance that is just so adorable, slow burn romance, just like the most fluffy, cute thing you've ever seen until it's not. Which I think would be a very fun aspect. I definitely think this could be like a Lifetime movie or like a ABC Family Hallmark movie, some kind of vibe like that. Because the actors and the actresses I picture in my head are just like the very generic looking ones from the Hallmark movies, but it's just like the perfect Hallmark movie. Like it's one of the ones that gets put really high up on your list to watch because it's really good. This has nothing to do with Christmas, so it's not like a Hallmark Christmas movie. Just in general, like those movies like Revenge of the Bridesmaids and Teen Spirit that are like on ABC Family, and they used to them so like when I was younger and I watched all of them. But I definitely get the same vibe from this book as I did a lot of ABC Family movies that I used to watch when I was younger. So if I saw this as a movie, I would honestly really enjoy it. It'd be just kind of like a comfort movie that you watch when you want to feel like warm and fuzzy inside. But the Lifetime aspect of it is the fact that her husband got murdered in a robbery and she's falling in love with a police officer. So they can take it two ways. They can make it super dramatic and make it a Lifetime movie, or they can like make it super cutesy and fun and make it into an ABC Family movie. Alright guys, that's all I have for this video today. Sorry if I keep looking in the viewfinder on my phone. I just like get distracted and like want to make sure you can see the book and there's not like glare and everything. So if I'm like looking myself directly in the eye this entire video, I promise I'm trying to get better at that, and I keep catching myself. So if you see my eyes shift back and forth, it's because I know I'm not supposed to be talking to myself in the viewfinder and I'm supposed to be looking at the lens, but I kind of never do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry if I keep shifting my eyes to the viewfinder. My phone's also about to die, and I'm trying to make sure that everything looks good in the camera, and I also want to make sure I look good, and so I keep just like looking back and forth. So sorry about that. I'm gonna try to do better at just like looking in my lens. But thank you guys so much again for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. Make sure you're following my book talk so you're there when I hit 10K. I'm almost to 7,000K, which is like really crazy because I literally hit 5,000 like last month. Barely. It's literally September 2nd. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be filming more videos soon. I know I said I was going to film my September TBR, but I'm a mood reader and I'm probably not going to stick to it. So that's probably not going to be a video that you will be seeing. I want to do more videos like this where I talk about specific tropes of books or things that I love in books. So if you guys want to see more of those, leave suggestions down below. Make sure you're following my TikTok, Instagram, and my Amazon wishlist is all linked down below, my link tree. Again, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me, and I will see you next time.